Hey everyone, and welcome back to Talk Tickers.
Yeah, always exciting to be back.
Today we're doing a deep dive into Palo Alto Networks.
Ticker symbol PANW.
You know it, their latest earnings call for Q2 of fiscal year 2025. Buckle up.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Because this one is a wild ride with some seriously impressive numbers.
Definitely impressed.
And some fascinating insights into where the cybersecurity world is headed.
Yeah, for sure. This call was just packed with information.
Okay, so let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
The headline numbers: PANW pulled in a massive $2.26 billion in revenue this quarter.
Huge.
That's a 14% jump compared to the same period last year.
Yeah, that's strong growth.
They're seeing it across all their regions, too.
Yeah.
Americas, EMEA, and even the Asia-Pacific region.
Really solid performance globally.
And then there's the next generation security annual recurring revenue.
Or as the cool kids call it, NGS ARR.
Exactly. This metric is a key indicator of future growth.
Right.
And it just skyrocketed.
Skyrocketed is right.
By 37%.
To hit $4.78 billion.
Yeah, $4.78 billion with the B.
It's a big number.
And they didn't stop there. They actually raised their guidance for the whole year.
Really?
Projecting even better operating margins.
Okay.
And earnings per share than they initially thought.
They're feeling good.
It's clear they're feeling pretty confident about their future.
Rightfully so.
And this confidence seems to stem from their strategic focus on two key areas.
Two areas that we hear about all the time.
Yeah, platformization and AI.
The future.
These themes were woven throughout the entire call.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
And they offer some pretty compelling clues about where PANW...
And maybe even the whole cybersecurity industry.
Yeah, is headed.
Yeah, big picture stuff.
Okay, let's break this down a bit. Starting with platformization.
Okay.
What exactly does that mean?
So platformization...
And why is it such a big deal for PANW?
Well, think about it. In the past, companies would buy a bunch of separate security products
Right.
for different parts of their network, like firewalls, endpoint protection, cloud security, and so on.
They had to mix and match from all sorts of vendors
Exactly.
to try and cover all their bases.
It was a piecemeal approach that left gaps.
Yeah, I could see how that would be a nightmare to manage.
Absolutely, it was. And that's where platformization comes in.
Okay.
PANW is moving away from these individual products
Right.
and toward these integrated platforms that bring all these security functions together into one unified system.
So it's like having one security system to rule them all,
That's a good way to put it.
instead of a Frankenstein's monster of different solutions.
This gives businesses a much more comprehensive view of their security posture
Makes sense.
and allows them to respond to threats much faster.
So it's not just about having more security.
No,
It's about having smarter security.
absolutely. It's about being able to see the whole battlefield and react quickly.
So how is PANW actually implementing this platformization strategy?
Well, they've made significant investments in
Okay.
developing a truly integrated platform that connects all their different security solutions.
So are they just telling customers to buy all their products?
It's a lot more than just bundling products together.
Okay.
They've really thought this through.
And are they seeing any results from this approach?
Oh, yeah, they're seeing serious results.
Like what?
In the call, they highlighted a few specific platformization deals that were pretty eye-popping.
Okay, give me the highlights.
For example, an Asian bank
Okay.
signed a deal worth over $65 million
Wow.
by implementing PANW's Cortex platform.
Okay.
This bank saw its NGS ARR jump fivefold to over $12 million.
Fivefold. That's incredible.
That's the power of platformization.
So it's not just about landing big deals.
Yeah.
It's about driving significant growth within those accounts over time.
Exactly. They're building long-term relationships with their customers.
Sounds like they found a winning formula here.
But platformization isn't the only thing driving PANW's success.
Right. We also need to talk about AI.
We do.
Seems like AI is everywhere these days.
It really is. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to cybersecurity.
How so?
On the one hand, AI can be incredibly powerful for enhancing security.
Okay.
It can detect threats, faster automate responses,
All right.
and analyze vast amounts of data to identify patterns and vulnerabilities that humans might miss.
So it's like having an army of digital detectives working around the clock.
That's a good analogy. But on the other hand,
There's always another hand.
the bad guys are using AI too
Oh, no.
to create even more sophisticated attacks.
This is what I was afraid of. It's like an arms race.
Exactly. Both sides are using AI to gain an edge.
And it seems like the bad guys are always one step ahead.
It's a constant battle.
So how is PANW addressing this AI challenge?
They're attacking it from multiple angles.
Give me an example.
First, they're deeply involved in using AI to drive cloud transformation projects.
Okay.
As businesses move more of their operations to the cloud,
Right.
the need for robust network security becomes even greater.
And that's where PANW comes in.
They're basically securing the highways of the digital world,
I like that analogy.
making sure the data flowing between businesses and their cloud providers is protected.
Okay, so they're securing the cloud.
But they're not just focused on securing traditional networks.
Right.
They're also tackling the unique challenges of securing AI itself.
So it's like AI is giving hackers superpowers.
Yeah.
And PANW is creating the kryptonite.
They're developing specific solutions to counter these AI-powered attacks.
Okay, so what are some of these AI-powered weapons they're adding to their arsenal?
One of their key offerings is Prisma Cloud,
Okay.
which they've recently evolved into Cortex Cloud.
So they're constantly updating and improving their solutions.
Exactly. Cortex Cloud is a complete end-to-end cloud security platform
I see.
that's deeply integrated with their Security Operations Center, or SOC.
Okay, and what exactly does that mean?
It means they can see everything that's happening in the cloud
Mm-hmm.
and respond to threats in real time.
So they're like the air traffic controllers of the cloud.
That's another good analogy. They also have something called API-based AI runtime security.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting a little lost in the technical jargon here.
Sorry, let me simplify it.
Please.
Think of an API as a set of rules
Okay.
that allow different applications to talk to each other.
Like a common language for software.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now imagine a security guard stationed right at that point of communication.
So they're checking everyone's ID before they can enter the building.
Precisely. Making sure only authorized requests get through.
That's a lot more efficient than trying to scan every piece of data,
It is, and it's especially important in the world of AI.
where speed and efficiency are paramount.
Exactly. And it's clearly working for them. They mentioned closing their first seven-figure software firewall transaction for AI this quarter.
Wow, that's impressive.
It shows that they're not just using AI defensively, but also to improve their own internal operations.
Give me an example.
They've developed an AI-powered support copilot
Why?
that's helping their support team resolve customer issues 50% faster.
That's a huge improvement.
It means happier customers and a more efficient support operation.
I like the sound of that.
They're also using AI to automate tasks
Right.
that were previously done by contractors.
Which is leading to significant cost savings.
Exactly. They're using AI to make their business smarter and more efficient.
It's fascinating how they're embracing AI,
It really is.
not just for security, but for every aspect of their business.
It's a reminder that AI is transforming not just the tech industry.
But the way all businesses operate.
It's a fundamental shift.
But before we get too lost in the AI rabbit hole,
Yeah, we could talk about this all day.
let's bring it back to PANW's overall strategy and their long-term vision.
Okay.
They seem pretty confident about their future prospects, right?
Absolutely.
They're projecting strong free cash flow growth,
Yes.
and they're sticking to their ambitious long-term NGS ARR target of $15 billion.
Yeah, they're not backing down.
This confidence stems from a few key factors.
Let's hear them.
First, they have a steady stream of innovative products hitting the market.
Always innovating.
They highlighted their new enterprise browser
Okay.
and their Secure AI by Design initiative.
That sounds interesting.
It's just a couple of examples.
Secure AI by design.
Yeah, it's about building security into AI systems from the ground up,
I see.
rather than trying to bolt it on as an afterthought.
That's a much smarter approach.
It's a proactive approach to preventing attacks that target the AI itself.
Makes sense.
And it's becoming increasingly critical as AI becomes more deeply embedded in our systems.
So beyond cool new products,
Yeah.
what else is fueling PANW's optimism?
Their relentless focus on efficiency is a major driver.
Okay.
We already talked about how they're using AI to streamline their operations,
Right?
but they're also making strategic decisions to optimize their resources.
They're not just throwing money at problems.
They're being smart about it.
They're projecting adjusted free cash flow margins above 37% for both 2026 and 2027,
So-
which is a serious statement of confidence in their ability to generate sustainable profits.
They're in it for the long haul.
They are.
So they're innovating, they're efficient, and they're profitable.
Yeah, it's a powerful combination.
It really is.
Yeah,
But it's all a bit abstract at this level.
right.
How does this translate into real-world benefits
Yeah, good question.
for businesses and individuals who are relying on PANW to keep them safe?
That's what we're all wondering.
That's what I'm really curious about.
Well, that's a great question, and it's one we'll dive deeper into in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore the practical implications of PANW's strategies, examine some of their key offerings in more detail, and discuss what this all means for the future of cybersecurity. Stay tuned.
Can't wait. Welcome back to Talk Tickers.
Glad to be here.
We're continuing our deep dive into Palo Alto Networks.
PANW.
That's right, their recent earnings call.
Yeah, a lot to cover.
And their bold moves in cybersecurity.
They're definitely making some big bets.
We've covered a lot of ground already.
We have
But there's still so much to unpack.
so much.
Let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and zoom in on one of PANW's core areas of expertise,
Right.
network security.
The foundation of it all.
So we're talking about the digital equivalent of building walls and moats
Yeah.
around our data,
That's
right?
the way to think about it.
Making sure no one can sneak in and steal our precious information
Right.
as it travels across the internet.
Protecting the flow of data.
But as businesses increasingly embrace cloud computing,
Yeah.
remote work,
Uh-huh.
and now AI,
Right.
the way we secure our networks needs a serious upgrade.
It's not just about firewalls anymore.
Okay, so what are they doing differently?
Well, PANW is talking about a zero trust platform,
Zero trust.
which means assuming that no user or device can be trusted by default.
Whoa!
It's a big shift in mindset
So they're suggesting we treat everyone like a potential hacker.
in today's threat landscape.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
Even our own employees.
It's not about being paranoid. It's about being pragmatic.
Okay.
You have employees working from coffee shops, partners accessing your systems remotely,
Yeah.
and now even AI agents interacting with your applications.
So many potential points of entry.
You need to control and secure every single point of access.
To prevent breaches.
It's much easier to prevent someone from entering your house in the first place
Okay.
than to try to kick them out once they're already inside.
So how does this zero trust approach actually work in practice?
Well, one key area is their focus on software-defined networking.
SDM.
Exactly. This allows them to manage and control network security policies in a much more dynamic and flexible way.
So it's about being able to adapt to changes in real time.
Right. And AI is essential for making SDN truly effective.
So is SDM the brains of the operation?
You could say that.
And AI is the intelligence that makes those brains work?
That's a good way to think about it. AI can analyze massive amounts of data, identify patterns that humans might miss,
Okay.
and even predict potential threats before they materialize.
It's like having an AI-powered security guard
Yeah.
that's constantly learning and adapting, getting smarter over time.
And they're not just relying on software.
Right.
They still see stable demand for their firewall appliances.
Wait.
Yeah.
So hardware is still relevant in this age of cloud and everything being virtual?
It is for some organizations.
I thought firewalls were going the way of the dinosaur.
Not quite. Some organizations,
Mhm.
particularly those with sensitive data or strict compliance requirements,
Yeah.
still prefer the control and performance of having physical appliances on their premises.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
It's not.
PANW is offering a full cybersecurity buffet,
I like that analogy.
and companies can pick and choose what they need.
Exactly. They're meeting their customers where they are.
And they're constantly adding new dishes to that buffet.
Always innovating.
They mentioned that SACE,
Secure access services.
right, continues to be one of their fastest growing offerings.
Yeah, SASE is a big deal.
Okay, I have to admit, SASE sounds like one of those buzzwords that makes my head spin.
Yeah, it can be a bit confusing.
Can you break it down for me in plain English?
Think of it this way. SaaS is like having a personal security detail
Okay.
for all your data and applications,
Right.
no matter where they are or how they're accessed.
So it's like having a bodyguard for your data.
That's a good way to put it. Instead of having all those security tools scattered across different locations,
Right.
SASE brings them together in the cloud,
I see.
making them easier to manage and deploy.
So it's kind of like a centralized security hub in the cloud.
Exactly. And this is particularly attractive for companies with distributed workforces
Makes sense.
or those adopting cloud-based applications.
So is PANW seeing much interest in SaaS?
Oh, yeah. They're seeing significant traction.
Like what kind of numbers are we talking about?
They have over 5,600 customers
Wow.
and over 23 million individual seats deployed.
That's a lot of people working securely from anywhere.
It is. And they're seeing strong adoption of newer SaaS modules,
Like what?
like autonomous digital experience management.
ADEM?
Yes. Cloud access security broker,
CAD.
And Prisma Access Browser.
Okay, before we go any further,
Yeah.
let's pause for a second
Okay.
and decode some of those acronyms.
Right.
What exactly are ADEM, CASB, and Prisma Access?
Good question. Imagine you're working from home.
Okay.
And your internet connection keeps dropping out during a crucial video conference.
Oh, that's the worst.
Well, ADA is designed to prevent that.
Okay.
It acts like a traffic cop for your network,
I see.
ensuring smooth and secure connections for all users.
Especially those working remotely?
Exactly. It optimizes network performance
Okay.
and provides a seamless experience.
So ADEM is like a quality control manager
Yeah.
for your internet connection.
Making sure everything runs smoothly.
Got it. Now, what about CASB?
So imagine you're using a bunch of different cloud applications for work.
Like Dropbox, Google Drive, Salesforce.
Exactly. Each of those apps holds sensitive company data. A CASB acts like a security checkpoint for all those cloud apps,
Okay.
making sure only authorized users can access the data.
So it's like a gatekeeper for the cloud.
Exactly. And Prisma Access is kind of like a super secure VPN.
Even better than a VPN.
It's a browser that's built from the ground up with security in mind.
Okay.
It blocks malicious websites, prevents phishing attacks,
Right.
and protects sensitive data from being stolen while you're online.
So it's like having a personal bodyguard for your internet browsing.
That's a good way to think about it.
It sounds like PANW has really thought of everything when it comes to securing the modern workplace.
They're trying to cover all the bases.
But with all this talk about innovation and cutting-edge technology,
Yeah,
it's easy to forget that PANW is still a business.
right. They need to make money.
Are they actually making money from all this?
Oh, yeah. They're not just growing rapidly,
Okay.
but they're also becoming increasingly profitable.
So they're not just a bunch of techies playing with cool toys.
They know how to run a business.
Yeah. They actually know how to turn a profit.
And their focus on platformization and AI is a key part of this financial success.
Makes sense.
These strategies are attracting large enterprise customers
Right.
who are willing to spend big on comprehensive security solutions.
It sounds like they found the sweet spot,
Yeah.
offering cutting-edge technology that solves real problems for businesses.
And generates substantial revenue.
But the cybersecurity market is notoriously competitive.
It is.
What are some of the challenges PANW might face in the future?
Well, for one, the competition is fierce.
Right.
There are a lot of other companies,
Yeah.
both large and small,
Huh.
vying for a piece of the cybersecurity pie.
So they need to stay ahead of the game.
PANW will need to continue to innovate and stay ahead of the curve to maintain its leadership position.
It's like they're running a marathon,
Yeah,
and they're in first place right now,
but there are a lot of other runners right behind them.
pushing hard to catch up.
They can't afford to rest on their laurels.
What else do they need to be mindful of?
They also need to be mindful of the evolving regulatory landscape.
Right.
Governments around the world are increasingly focused on data privacy and security, which could impact how PANW operates in certain regions.
So they need to be adaptable.
They need to make sure their solutions comply with all the relevant regulations
It's a delicate balancing act between pushing the boundaries of technology.
and navigating the complex web of regulations.
And then there's the constant threat of new cyber attacks.
Right. New threats and vulnerabilities are emerging all the time.
The bad guys are always coming up with new ways to attack systems.
And steal data.
So it's a never-ending battle,
It is
a constant game of cat and mouse.
between the security providers and the attackers.
But it sounds like PANW is well equipped for the challenge.
I think so. They have a strong leadership team,
Okay.
a clear vision for the future, and a track record of innovation.
Well, it's been fascinating exploring the world of PANW and the future of network security. I feel like I've learned a ton just listening to you break it all down.
Glad to hear it.
But I'm curious,
Yeah.
what about the bigger picture?
Okay.
What does PANW's success tell us about the overall state of the cybersecurity industry?
That's a great question.
Is the industry as a whole moving in the right direction?
Well, that's a question that deserves a deeper dive.
Okay.
Let's shift gears again
All right.
and talk about the broader implications of what we've learned today.
Sounds good.
Stay with us
Okay.
as we explore the future of cybersecurity
Yes.
and what it means for all of us.
Welcome back to Talk Tickers. We're wrapping up our deep dive into Palo Alto Networks'
Yeah.
Q2 2025 earnings call.
Yeah.
We've dissected their impressive financial performance,
Yeah.
explored their strategic focus on platformization and AI,
Uh-huh.
and even gotten a bit technical with terms like SANI and ADEM.
We've covered a lot of ground.
It's been quite a journey,
It has.
but I think it's important to step back for a moment
Okay.
and consider the bigger picture.
The big picture.
Right. We've been so focused on PANW's specific moves.
Mm-hmm.
What does their success tell us about the broader trends in cybersecurity?
Yeah, what does it all mean?
What's the takeaway for the average listener
Right.
who might not be a cybersecurity expert,
They just want to stay safe online.
but just wants to stay safe online?
Exactly.
It's a clear signal that the cybersecurity industry is undergoing a major transformation.
Yeah, things are changing fast.
The old ways of doing things just aren't cutting it anymore.
The threats are evolving.
Businesses are realizing that they can't just cobble together a patchwork of different security products
Right.
and hope for the best.
It's not enough anymore.
Yeah, that castle with 1,000 mismatched locks analogy really stuck with me.
It's a good one.
It seems like PANW is saying that true security requires a more unified and integrated approach.
Absolutely.
And their success is proof that the market is embracing this shift.
They're leading the way.
PANW is setting a new standard for what modern cybersecurity should look like.
It's a new era of security.
It's not just about protecting individual devices or networks anymore.
No.
It's about creating a comprehensive security ecosystem
Right.
that covers every aspect of a business's digital footprint.
Everything is connected.
So PANW is basically saying,
Yep.
forget the walls and moats, let's build a fortresses.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. They're demonstrating that platformization and AI are the essential building blocks of this fortress.
And their impressive growth,
Yes.
strong financials, and ambitious long-term projections
Right.
are proof that this approach is resonating with customers and investors alike.
They're on the right track.
It's exciting to see a company like PANW pushing the boundaries of what's possible in cybersecurity.
They're really innovating.
But let's be real for a second.
Okay.
What does all this mean for the average person
Right.
who's just trying to stay safe online?
Good question.
Do we need to become cybersecurity experts overnight?
Fortunately, no.
But
But we do need to be more aware of the risks and take responsibility for our own online security.
because it's not just businesses that are being targeted.
No.
Cyber attacks are becoming more sophisticated and more frequent.
Unfortunately, that's
And they're increasingly targeting individuals as well.
everyone is a potential target.
Think about all the ways we rely on technology in our daily lives.
Yeah.
Online banking,
Uh-huh.
shopping, social media,
Right.
even controlling our homes.
It's all connected.
If those systems are compromised, the consequences can be devastating.
It's a scary thought.
So what can we do to protect ourselves?
We'll start with the basics.
Okay.
Use strong passwords
Right.
and multi-factor authentication wherever possible.
Okay.
Be wary of phishing emails
Uh-huh.
and suspicious links. Keep your software updated
Got it.
and make sure you're using a reputable antivirus program.
Those are all good tips.
The basics are important.
But it seems like the bad guys are always one step ahead.
They're always trying to find new ways to exploit vulnerabilities.
How can we possibly keep up with the constant barrage of new threats?
That's where companies like PANW come in.
Okay.
They're on the front lines of this battle,
Right.
constantly researching and developing new solutions to counter emerging threats.
So it's like having a team of digital bodyguards working behind the scenes to keep us safe.
That's a good way to think about it. And as AI becomes more sophisticated,
Uh-huh.
these security solutions will only become more effective.
So it's a constant evolution.
It is.
The good guys are always trying to stay one step ahead of the bad guys.
It's an arms race.
It sounds like the future of cybersecurity is in good hands,
Yeah.
or at least in the hands of some very smart algorithms.
It's a combination of technology and human expertise.
But it's important to remember that technology is only part of the solution.
Right.
We also need to be more aware of the risks and take responsibility for our own online security. We can't just rely on companies like PANW to protect us.
They all have a role to play.
We need to be proactive and informed. So it's a shared responsibility.
It is.
Companies like PANW provide the tools,
Right?
and we need to use them wisely and stay informed about the latest threats.
Cybersecurity is not just a technical issue,
Right.
It's a human issue. It requires both technological innovation and individual awareness.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
But before we wrap things up, is there anything else our listeners should keep in mind about PANW or the future of cybersecurity? Any key takeaways you want to leave them with?
I think the main takeaway is that cybersecurity is more important than ever before.
Agreed.
As our lives become increasingly digital, the stakes are higher.
Risks are real.
But the good news is that companies like PANW are rising to the challenge.
Okay,
They're developing innovative solutions and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
that's encouraging.
And as individuals, we can all play a role in staying safe online by being informed, being proactive, and being vigilant.
Well said.
Yeah.
It's been an eye-opening conversation, and I feel much more informed about the world of cybersecurity now.
That's what we like to hear.
But before we let you go, we have one last segment that our listeners always look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Our This Is Not Financial Advice, But segment.
Always a fun one.
Okay, so let's say you're feeling really bullish on PANW after hearing all this.
Okay.
You're convinced that they're going to continue dominating the cybersecurity market
Uh-huh.
and that their stock price is going to skyrocket. What's a totally wild, not financial advice trade idea?
Let me think. Okay, how about this? Load up on call options for a date far out in the future.
Okay.
Like maybe 2027 or even 2030.
Whoa, that's a long time horizon.
It is. But if PANW hits their ambitious ARR target
Right.
and continues to lead the charge in securing AI, those options could be worth a fortune.
Okay, but let's be clear.
Yes,
This is just for entertainment purposes only.
definitely not financial advice.
You not actually do this based on our silly ramblings.
We are not financial advisors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is not financial advice. We're just having a bit of fun here.
Yeah.
Always do your own research.
Right.
And consult with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Remember, folks, investing in the stock market is inherently risky.
It is.
Don't gamble with money. You can't afford to lose.
Wise words. And on that note,
Yeah.
we'll wrap up our deep dive into Palo Alto Networks Q2 2025 earnings call. We hope you found it informative, insightful, and maybe even a little bit entertaining.
We try to keep things interesting.
Until next time, stay safe,
Yes,
stay curious,
definitely.
and keep exploring the ever-evolving world of cybersecurity.
It's a fascinating world out there.
And remember, always do your own research.
Always.
Thanks for listening to Talk Tickers.
We'll see you next time.